Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Intuitive Energy Forecast. My name's Lisa Lyle, and this is my channel here on YouTube. And as we connect, I'm just feeling really guided to clear the space between our hearts with this beautiful crystal singing chalice. Wow. So, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to this space, again, my name's Lisa Lyle. This is my channel here on YouTube, and you are very welcome to this space, which is more often than not a guided offering from my heart as connected to the loving and compassionate source of all, who wishes only for us to manifest our heart's deepest desires while here in the physical vessel. So if you're new, again, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button. It's free and easy to do, and it's a way to greatly support the growth of this channel as well as myself. And I'm deeply appreciative of that. If you've been traveling with me for the last decade or so, thank you so much for continuing to be an integral part of my spiritual growth. And I hope in some way I have touched and inspired your own spiritual journey into deeper healing. So, wow, I don't even know really where to begin. Just before I went live here, I was really reflecting on the energy of the past 31 days or so since we flipped the calendar page and apparently came into a new year. I personally believe the new year is around the time of the spring equinox, March 20th or so, and perhaps even April 1st. Yet that's not what we're here to debate. We're just simply here to tune in and connect to the energy that's supporting us at this time. And January of 2024 has been a bumpy ride. And as I was feeling and thinking that, reflecting on that, the message that came through is it's going to be a bumpy year. It's going to be a bumpy year. Up to and including when we actually enter into this true new year. Coming next week on the 10th of February, we have the Lunar New Year, where we welcome the year of the wood dragon. And it's going to be exciting and it's going to be fiery. And what is going to be asked of us, what is always asked of us, is to bring our presence to the present moment and to really, within the instability, within the roller coaster ride of life, to somehow find ways, and really creative ways, to keep ourselves just going with the spirit that flows through us, going with what feels right and true for us when perhaps everyone's looking over here and, it seems like everyone's traveling down this path. Being courageous enough to travel down this path, which is wide and expansive and flows from your heart space. And that's a tall order. That's a tall order in these uncertain times. So let's, without getting too rambly here, let's get into some working with some oracle cards to see what messages of love and support want to come through for us at this time. If you're interested in working more closely with me one-on-one with a reading or an intuitive healing session, please do visit my website, which is simply my name, lisalyle.com, and schedule a session today. It would be my great honor and privilege to be of divine service to you. So at this time, I would just like to ask to be a clear and pure channel to bring through messages from Source Divine, loving and kind, that supports the manifestation of our heart's deep desire in this lifetime, on this particular timeline. And we exist beyond the timelines. And so this is the guidance that's coming through from the aspect of ourself that still resides and peacefully resides and humbly abides with the loving creator of all, Mother, Father, God, Source. This card is popping out. And it's true. And the card is the emotions are running high, the supermoon. I'm not sure when we have supermoons this year. Will. This is beautiful. So I'm going to just get one more from right there. Oh, wow. Okay. So exactly. I'm not sure when our supermoons are this year. Although, moon circles are back. So if you would like to be a part of that offering as well, you can find information about those on my website also. So this is exactly what was being said. We are the calm within the storm. And so what can you do for yourself today, this week, this month, that is going to support your emotional flow? And I know that likely after this this session, this connection, I'm heading to nature, and I can feel a huge emotional release that is just simmering below the surface, really wanting the release. And I know that that's going to be deeply healing for me because, we're all incredibly sensitive, and the energies, and that's like the confirmation. Yes, we are. And our sensitivities for much of this human experience have been portrayed as a weakness, when in fact it's our greatest strength, and our intuition is our greatest strength. We live in a reality that a virtual reality, or an AI operated reality, where these energies are truly and truly working, not for humanity, against humanity. And so it's our humanity, it's our heart that's being called to action, being called to service, because we innately know what is right and true for us. And if it's right, and what might be right and true for us may not be for another yet. And I can assure you that what is right and true for us is that all of us are worthy and deserving of love. All of us are worthy and deserving of the necessities of life: a comfortable roof over our head, good food in our fridge and our garden, loving relationships in our life, all these things. And up to and including this particular time, it has been, and I would say, I would venture to say, particularly for the bringer of light, for the healer of the ages, the sages, the light bringers, the children of light, God's children. It has been a challenging and testing time. And what is being tested ultimately is our faith and our ability to love ourselves in the moment. And, moments are fluid. Just like these messages, you may see them 10 years from now. And I trust in this moment in 2024 that there will be something here for you, some glimmer of hope, some glimmer of light that sparks your faith in yourself and in the collective of humanity, and in a loving creator, a loving mother, father. 1111. We are eternally supported, and within the vessel of flesh, within this current experience, there's a lot we've had to work through, to move through, to go through. And if you're anything like me, you're likely feeling on a soul level exhausted, because this is to be spiritually awake in a world where most are asleep, or a large part of the population within the collective are asleep. And even many who believe that they are awake, I don't know that there's ever just an awake. I believe that we're continually within this awakening process. Even those who claim to be awake, there's a long way to go. And it's all about the seeds we have sown and the seeds that we continue to sow that support spiritual growth. And this is the polarity of this third dimensional experience. So we're being asked at this time to really take charge of our emotions, to honor our emotions, to let flow and let go what is begging to be released. It's like freedom from karmic cycles that have kept humanity spinning their wheels like the hamster in the wheel, running, and getting nowhere. We're tired. You're tired. So how do you handle that? And then the next card out is the Will card, and it's number 13, the number of the sacred feminine, Pachamama, Mama Earth, the sacred spiral of light. The medicine keepers, the medicine bringers. So our will, this energy of will, resides within our solar plexus chakra, our inner sunshine, our inner fire. And this can work to our advantage or disadvantage. If we're allowing our ego to run the show, if we're struggling and perpetuating these patterns and cycles of addiction, chances are the ego is in overdrive. And the ego in overdrive can look very domineering and aggressive and in your face, and it's my way or the highway type energy. And yet, on the inside of that is a wounded, frightened child, a child who has been traumatized by this experience called life, a child that is calling out for love, more and more love. And yet the thing is, that child must recognize that they are the one that is now called to fill their cup through their ever-present connection to a loving and kind source. who seeks only and wants only for us to seek the path of our heart, to expand more and more into the radiant child of light that we were born. And this is about, taming and taming the inner fire. And this could be the emotions running high, right? Repressed pain often manifests externally as anger and aggression until we address the pain that remains within our um, unconscious or perhaps conscious experience. And so will is all about allowing, we must use our will. We free will choices. This is what we're here for. And so that requires us to make choices, and it requires us often to make changes. And change is never comfortable, right? And change, like moving through the process of change, has many feeling as if they're going insane. And you're not, you're just coming back to your senses, your sensitivities, your innate nature, that beautiful child of light that was born that just wants to play and co create, singing and dancing their way through life. So, honoring where you're at, honoring what's coming up for you. And the final card from these decks, so this was a combined Moonology and Queen of the Moon Oracle. And we got 2 Queen of the Moon, and the emotions are running high was from the Moonology. This is focus, and it's number 14. 5 is the number of change. And so, is your attention? Because where attention goes, energy flows. So where is your attention? Or where are you in the present moment, right here and now, with your heart, taking charge of or taking responsibility for being where you are? Or is your attention focused on, perhaps the woulda, shoulda, couldas, what might have been, um, what's not yet here? It's about bringing your focus and attention back to the now moment for all of us. When this card first came out, I actually thought it was an owl, and I've been seeing so many owls lately. And the owl always speaks to me of the inner wisdom that comes from when owl. I'll share a little story back in about 2013 when Owl came into my life as a very present and loving animal guide, animal friend. What that owl did for me was it flew down, and it was a great horned owl, and it flew down this dark stairwell and then down this tunnel. And I was so afraid to go, very afraid, because I was by myself, with the exception of this owl. And yet I went, and what I found there was my very own shadow. What I found there was little Lisa, frightened and afraid, like like sitting like all covered up and just like in so much pain. Little Lisa. And there I was. And there I met myself and reached out and embraced that aspect of myself that still existed at that time. And meeting that aspect of self, meeting the shadow, facing the shadow has really been a great blessing because it has softened me. It has softened me and continues to soften me and supports the growth of humility, and the growth of love and compassion and understanding. So remember, where attention goes, or where attention goes, energy flows. Trust your intuition. Things are opening up. This month we have, or in February, tomorrow will be February, we have the beautiful full moon in August. I am feeling so much excitement about this energy because it feels like a big shift. And this will be the last full moon until we move into the true new year, the equinox. And so it feels like at this time it's preparation. I'm just guided to notice here that goddess is like her nose and mouth are underwater. And she looks so peaceful. There's no fright, there's no fear, there's no worry. She is peaceful in that moment. And this is really speaking about the emotional body, right? Or the heightened emotions. This is the visual of your power, of our innate power. And that feels, I just got like some goosebumps all over the back of my neck. It feels like this is what we are to recognize as we move through this week, approaching the new moon in Aquarius, kicking off the new lunar year. So let's go into the Gaia Oracle just for some love and support from the elemental kingdom, from the divine feminine, dear Mother Earth. Let's tune in. Oh my gosh. Purification. It was 21 there. Purification, water, emotional purification. Let your tears flow. Have you ever been so scared? Do you feel so scared that you just want to scream and cry? Calling out for help. Do it. This feels really powerful. Our ability to allow our emotions out, to let our love flow in the direction that supports our growth. This is a number 32, that divine masculine energy, another 5 energy. And I say divine masculine because since my sweet Frank transitioned just over 5 years ago now on 12/21. I was seeing that number a lot, 23, 32, 32, 23. And I finally asked because I was just seeing it as the 5/5, right? Change. And what actually I was told was that it was representative of the divine masculine energy, supporting us, as well as the divine masculine awakening and really wanting to support the sacred feminine, really wanting divine union with a sacred lover, one as the other. And the words on the card: emotional cleansing and rejuvenation. So really working with this energy. And then we've got the rising above. And this is a number 11. This speaks about as we travel, as we journey along our path of mastery, we are rising above the density of the human experience. This we rise above through the purity of our heart. And I know maybe nobody's told you that in a long time, but that little child that lives inside of you is beautiful, radiant, and deserves to play and experience joy and abundance in each and every day. Do you believe? And peace is the way. It says clarity, freedom, solution, solution. We are the soul. Lucian. Love is the lotion, the magic potion that we are here to drink of. They just showed me drinking out of this. I can't drink out of this, but they just showed me, I had this visual of drinking out of a golden chalice, drinking out of the golden cup of love and abundance that is our divine birthright. That's a beautiful visual. This is the last one. Oh, night wind. And this is a 23. Wow. A lot of confirmation here. So I was mentioning the importance of 2332 and the importance of 3223. And I have to just, I'm going to let that go. And it says on this card, facing fear, subconscious release, and healing. And so this is what the honoring, I know there's someone standing right outside the door. I'm trying to be quiet, but he probably sees. But this is about the facing our fears that keep us scared or that have us scared or that keep us back there. In a time in our lives that, perhaps we were a child filled with fright. So we must face it down. And this 32 and the 23 coming out really speaks of the loving Father right there with us as we go through, as we follow the owl into the dark. And so what are you willing to do? Are you willing to face those fears and to support the emotional release through your physical body, through the release of tears, through the honoring and acceptance of what lives and breathes as you? Okay, he's gone. Whew. All right. And I just heard love lives on. And so this speaks, these messages are really about the more rooted we are, the more elevated we are able to go and grow. So really nurturing your roots, getting to nature, grounding yourself. And I just heard being proud of yourself, being proud of all that you've overcome, being proud of the woman, the young man, the young lady you have become. So let's just get a little kiss from the ancestors who love us unconditionally and support our ability to heal the lineage. Oh my gosh, the joy. This card is it's the hummingbird, and hummingbirds are representative of joy. And hummingbirds, those little birds, they can fly side to side, back and forth, and they're the only bird that can do that. And it just speaks of excitement. And this card is the patience card, and it's number 6. 6 is the house of Virgo, and I've already mentioned the importance and the excitement around this Virgo full moon coming on February 24th is when the full moon in Virgo is. And so be patient with yourself as you move through what may be tumultuous waters. Certainly within the collective energetic, things are rather unstable. And so how can you are here to bring stability to the table. And so how can you do that in this moment? And having patience is a great way. The direction on this card is south, and the color is red. And this is south is the direction of the inner child. Following our heart's desire. Archangel Michael hangs out in the south, and so I just heard twist and shout. I really feel like a big part of the message this week is how can we have more fun? How can we be more loving and kind to ourselves as we move through these massive changes? How can we stabilize ourselves in moments of uncertainty? And the overriding message here is be more patient with yourself. Be more loving and kind. It says here, live your life as a fearless warrior who sees the world as being much greater than yourself. Be humble and patient, having faith in something more. As a bird soars high above for greater vision, we too should attempt to soar and see the larger picture we are all a part of. What can be greater than a winged one who flies thousands of miles a year in expression of its true nature? Would you go to the ends of the earth to find your true self? Imagine the courage and tenacity of that tiny beating heart, always in search of something greater, the purest nectar of the Great Spirit. Do you recognize this in yourself? And yes, I do. Do you recognize it in you? Because I see you, I feel you, I love you, and I thank you for your beautiful presence in my life. You are indeed a blessing for which I am eternally grateful. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Please do subscribe again and perhaps hit the little notification bell. There's lots of interactive messages scheduled to come out over the coming days, weeks, and months. I've been busy little bird over here and trusting that my heart's desire is bringing to me the abundance of divine birthright here in this life. So, thanks so much for being here. Until next time, everyone, take good care of yourself. Namaste. And may you have the courage to call in God's blessings with your holy name.